When someone we love dies, it's just natural for us to feel grief, to feel sadness, and to miss them terribly. It can be an incredibly painful experience. And yet, with healthy grief, we move through that process. It may take weeks, it may take months, but eventually we get to a sweeter, more peaceful place with it. Unless we don't. Hey, my name is Rob Nelson. I'm an EFT practitioner. And I've actually worked with quite a few clients who got stuck with their grief. It could have gone on for years or even decades and be just as painful as when the person passed. Now, this is not a great situation to be in. It doesn't benefit anyone, and it can really keep us from living our best life. So, in helping tap away stuck grief, I've noticed there's often 4 possible elements that are gumming up the works. The first 2 are emotional. The second 2 are particular beliefs we might be entertaining. So one of the most powerful stoppers for processing grief is any kind of resentment or even anger at the person who's died. And there are very strong cultural prohibitions against speaking ill of the dead. And it's certainly too late to read them the riot act or express our displeasure with them. And yet, just trying to legislate away the feelings or stuff them down, well, it contaminates our experience of grief. So why might somebody be angry or resentful? Well, it may be that the person treated us harshly at some point and just never apologized. Or maybe they left their affairs in disorder. They left a big mess that fell into our lap. We've had to deal with it. It can be very frustrating. Or there could be an almost childish feeling of, how could you do this to me? How could you leave me here? Which is pretty tough. So the second showstopper is guilt. If I feel guilt toward my loved one who's died, well, it's kind of too late to apologize. Maybe I treated them poorly or did something bad to them. Or maybe I let the relationship slip a little bit and wasn't as close as now I wish it had been. Maybe I wasn't there for them in their final days. I've seen all of this with clients. And the thing about guilt is it benefits no one. It doesn't make us a better person. It certainly doesn't benefit the person who's died. All it seems to do is just contaminate the grief and keep it from running its course, keeping us stuck, possibly for years and years, feeling terrible. So now, the beliefs, the first belief I've noticed can be a real problem, is the idea that my only real connection that's left to me with my loved one is all this pain I'm feeling. In other words, if I let go of the pain, if I let go of my suffering, I'll lose my connection. And I just can't let that happen. It's a belief that without the pain and suffering, I'll forget about them. They'll just drift away from my memory like a helium balloon going off into the sky. And I just can't let that happen. So the thing about this belief is it's absolutely not true. If anything, it's the opposite of the truth. By focusing on the painful aspect of their death, it's actually making it more difficult or almost impossible to access all of the good memories. If this is someone you loved, you're going to have a whole bank of wonderful, rich, nourishing memories that you should be able to enjoy. Those memories belong to you. And by enabling yourself, by letting go of the stuck grief, enabling yourself to revisit the happy memories, that actually strengthens your connection with the person who's gone. Another belief that can really get in the way is the idea that if I'm not endlessly suffering, it means that the person wasn't really that important to me. It's no big deal that they died. I need to demonstrate, I need to prove through my suffering and pain how much they meant to me endlessly. And after a certain point, this is just entirely counterproductive. I mean, who are we trying to impress? Who are we proving it to? Our loved ones certainly wouldn't want us to carry on this way. So this idea that we need to honor the memory of our loved one with suffering and pain is a great thing to let go. And once it's gone, grief can often just run its course. And we can get to the other side where we still have sadness visit us, but it's a kind of bittersweet thing. It's beautiful in a certain kind of way. The sadness means, yes, that they are dear to our heart, that we love them, that we miss them from being in our life now. But the intense pain is gone. It's just more sweet than bitter. Okay, so this is part 1. In part 2, I'm going to do a tapping video. If you've experienced this kind of stuck grief, this video is to try and help you let it go and release it. Again, this is Rob Nelson, Tapping the Matrix and Tapping the Matrix Academy. Thanks so much for watching.